Hello and welcome to another Club100 video. We're actually starting to smash these out now. You join as we have a bit of a conversation with Sam about the tyres, as you can hear.
Oh really?
Yeah,
I can't see any scratches, it's just a scuff.
Yeah.
So.
There's a little one on the visor as well, isn't there?
Yeah, it sort of went like glance and blow. So I'm gonna watch, if he comes right, I'll watch out a bit more.
They're not there anymore.
So as you can see, we were quite lucky, if you didn't see the first race, that we didn't actually cut the helmet or cut myself or anything like that with the tyre incident, which you'll have to check out in the previous video. But this is race 2 now from Lydd. So due to penalties we ended up starting in 3rd place. We finished the race in 5th, but due to the penalties applied to the guys in front, we actually managed to get 3rd. So nice starting position, not pole like I had in the first race, but good enough. So we've got Dan Brewer in front, and then on the left hand side is Amwar. Obviously these people are very quick, so if we can stay with them it'll be great. If we can overtake them, even better. If we lose them, bugger. But good start, pull alongside Amwar, but obviously it's the left hand, well, the second call is a left hander and he's always got the inside there, so there's no real hope trying to force your way in there. Into second chicane, just making sure we don't get, you know, a surprise attack. You can see I take a slightly middle of the road line there just to put off any potential attackers. I don't really look behind too much, so I don't know if anyone's there, so I just sort of take a covering line basically, just to make sure that no one sends it ridiculously, let's say, or just thinks, oh, there's an open goal there, I'll go for it. So it is what it is. But yeah, we've held on to position, so good start. That's what we like to see. And now we can settle down and try and work out if we have anything for these guys. In the first race, I didn't quite have the pace, even though the pace itself was pretty good. I couldn't really make inroads. I could only sort of match it or benefit of traffic and stuff. So this time we're hopefully going to be a bit more competitive, a bit closer to the front. So far so good, as Amwar makes a big dive for the lead there, very early on, so he's confident he can go a bit quicker than Dan at the moment, which fair play to him. The slipstream is quite powerful in the circuit, so you can actually bump draft. So you may see, well, you might see Dan now not overtake, because you can just sit in the slipstream, bump him along, and yeah, make headway while you've got clear track and all sorts. But you can see here we've got a good run through the first chicane, and we're quite good into the second chicane, so I'm quite happy with this. It's the latter half of the lap we seem to struggle. Not really sure what exactly, but we seem to just lose time over the course of the lap through after the hairpin all the way to the beginning of the lap again. So you'll notice that throughout the video, it's sort of to and fro. But yeah, so in 3rd, and you see we've skipped forward now 8 minutes, is that, I think, or 7 minutes, and nothing's happened, because that's literally been it. And this is actually a case, this is the fast lap of the race. I set the fast lap of the race, so it shows the pace was good. You can see I start quite a bit behind Dan here, but I get, say, this second chicane I seem to really hook up well. You see how much time I took out of the guys in front. Took a few kart lengths out of the gap. Got myself back into the toe, firmly into the toe. And then take a nice wide line in. Not pushing the entry too much, just make sure I carry good speed through these corners. And then onto the straight, nice and smooth. You can see I've got not the best toe, but you can see I'm sort of sticking with them, so I've definitely got some good pace here. And then into the final corner, you can see I gained a little bit more time as well. So this was just very well hooked up lap. 44.1. Obviously I did the 44.0 in qualifying, which with that help from the kart, which was all me obviously, shows that the pace here is really good. I think all of us were quite quick in this race actually, like we'd all, maybe the track's rubbing in a bit more, or the temperature was a bit better for this second race, but we all seem to have a little bit, like a few temps gained. So you see Dan now, he's been checking out where I was, looking behind, maybe he thinks I'm a bit closer now, and he's gone for a big move on Amwar to take the lead again. this was actually the finishing order of the first race after penalties applied, so Dan first, Anwar second and me third, I believe. Yeah, I think so. So now I'm right behind these guys. Once again, I'm not really bothered about making a move just yet. I don't really see the point. But if an opportunity presents itself, then maybe I'll go for the big old send. But for now, we're sort of chilling, making sure that we don't get tangled up with back markers, which in hindsight I almost wish I pushed it a bit more to try and get in front of at least one of them now, because then I can maybe get them separated, because our pace was very similar. So if someone got dropped off the back, I don't think they would have like caught up instantly unless they got held up. You can see here I get quite unlucky. I tried to follow him through, but this guy, rightly so, I mean, he doesn't need to open a door for me or anything like that. I mean that I felt a bit annoyed about, but so he doesn't know who's where, so he can't exactly say he doesn't know who's where. So he bogs off a little bit. These guys in front once again get held up a little bit, but then I'm also once again held up again, so I just get separated from the group just a tiny bit. But we're all taking compromised lines here, so we're all struggling to sort of maintain a good pace. Coming to, I'll make a big dive here to make sure I get past this back mark. You see Anwar now gets hung out to dry around this corner by another lap car, and I mean he's unhappy with him, but I don't really know what he could have done. I think maybe he's just unhappy he lost the gap, but not actually unhappy with the back marker, because I really don't see what he could have done there. So now I'm right behind Anwar, so that's always a good sign. He is very quick in these karts, annoyingly quick. I think he's I'm pretty sure he's leading the championship, or if not, he's very bloody close. So he is a very good benchmark to try and hold on to and just sit behind, really. And at this point I'm thinking more to tow back up to Dan, so just work together, not put him off, not make him defend, because I don't, as I say, I don't really look behind that much, so I don't actually know if I look behind much this whole race. But I knew Tim was behind me at one point, and he was occasionally bumping me down the straights, but he never went for a move as far as I can recall up to this point. So I was sort of keen to just make sure we focused forward really and didn't drop back at all. You can see here Dan's now making some switchback moves to make sure he gets past his back markers, and we're now closing right back onto the back of him again. I get a little bit compromised by the back marker, but it's honestly not too bad. I just sort of carried the speed around the outside, left him room, because you got to anticipate that you don't know what they're going to do basically. So at this point I'm setting myself up here to just sneak past before he gets there. I don't know. This is where I really wish it had helmet cam actually, because you could really see what actually happens, whereas as soon as they're past the bump you have no idea where they've gone. For all I know he could have gone flying into the tyres, but I assume he survived because I don't really remember what happened to everyone in this race. It's been quite a while now. Yeah, through the first chicane again. So the rhythm, everything like that, it's all fine. We're just really just sitting here along for the ride, just trying to get as far away from whoever's behind us, if anyone's behind us. Oh, I thought for a moment then we were might be being overtaken there. I took a little bit of a wide line, but I don't think that was the case. Yeah, once again into this long left. I don't know any of the names actually for Lydd. I just know first and second chicane, that's about it. And last corner, but that's not the names. Yeah, skim forward by looks of it a lap. Another back marker to deal with. I think this is Martin actually. Might be Martin Robinson. Oh, so yeah, got a yellow flag. You can see how much this camera angle is a bit lower than my eyesight, but you can see what happens when you're behind someone. You can't see in front. So I was completely focused on the camera there, didn't even see the yellow flag come up. So I just sort of rammed into the back of him until I realised. Yeah, having his own mind. I think he pointed me through there, so nice of him to make it a little bit easier for me, which is always helpful. And yeah, now we can focus on trying to get back onto the back of Anwar. You see Dan's still just there. There's not really, I mean he may have pulled out a second, but so it's all due to traffic rather than natural pace. A bit further into the lap now. Just over, what's that? 12 minutes to go now. Another back marker to deal with. And you see we've caught right back up to M1 now. There was maybe, I don't know, 7 times gap. We've caught back up to him due to maybe him being compromised, or maybe us getting a bit of a better run through some turns. We can sit in a mire, read the name on the back of his suit for the rest of the day. Eventually it does get pretty boring, so I do sometimes want to pass. You can see there how the toe works there. The slipstream really putting us along, drawing us round to the back of him. But say at this point, I was still sort of more thinking that if we both work together here, or I don't really upset us both, we have a chance of getting the win. So I was more playing the long game here. In hindsight, maybe I would have gone for some more moves, but Anwar does check behind a lot, so I don't know if I could have made many. Because he's very focused on me rather than focused on where he's going, which maybe caused that little mistake there where he ran a little bit wide and stuff. So it's frustrating when someone's looking behind all the time, because I don't know, I feel like they need to focus on their own race sometimes. But yeah, following him through now. I'm up this another back mark. So you've probably lost, we're maybe 1.5 seconds behind Dan now, so we have lost a bit of time over these few laps, but I don't really have a big enough pace advantage to really think if I pass Anwar now, will I be able to pull away, will I be able to hold on to that position, will we fall back behind potentially someone right behind us? I'm not sure, so you've got to sort of play your cards with this sort of thing. You can see here, this is the one place where I can see Anwar's kart maybe wasn't quite as strong as mine. Other than that, it was pretty even, apart from the entry to the second chicane, but I feel like that was more my line than a kart thing. But you can see we both had decent speed down the straight, there wasn't really anything in it. It was just all about hooking up the corners, which is really tricky to do at Lydd. It's a very sort of precise circuit, and the way the bumps are, it's tricky to get right. So you can see he's gapped us a little bit here, and I'm just trying to make sure I get into that gap, but didn't quite make it. It was quite a lunge. I was pushing my luck really trying to send for that gap, but thankfully here you can just see doesn't quite get the right line. He then looks behind us, has a big old look, points us through. Thank you very much, mate. And we can carry on pursuing P2 in the race, and well, ideally P1, but he is getting, he's not far ahead, but the pace is so similar between us, that gap is huge. Now here is a good moment for me, because Anwar got very held up, and I nearly, he just covers it off. I think he had a little bit of a burst of speed as well though, because I felt like I had the run in, but maybe it was the way the track turns as well, I just gave him the advantage to cut back in front, but that was probably my closest moment to getting past him. For a foreseeable future anyway, because that moment there was I was almost alongside and he couldn't do anything about it, but I just didn't quite get enough momentum past him. So we have to try and figure it out for another day. Back into the second chicane where I'd say I was gaining a lot through here. I don't know whether it's just maybe my line was a bit different or the way the cart's handling, but here was also another moment where I was really fuming at myself. Because I remember looking, I think if you see up ahead here, there's a load of back markers coming up from memory. Yeah, maybe a few, maybe I don't know, 3 or 4 seconds down the road, there's a few back markers. And I was sort of eyeing up this sort of time to, if I get a move done, then at least I've got people to chase down, potential people to get in his way, you know, and that could then help me break away. Because I didn't think really, if we just went around in open air, that anything would happen. So I was really trying to push on it to make sure I got a chance where I could go past and make a difference and try and get away, but really tricky it turns out. And you see here, look at this train now. This is sort of like a good thing and a bad thing. From behind it's probably not the best thing, because you could easily get cut off. See, it's really all about kart placement. So here I'm sort of eyeing up my moves, taking slightly wider lines to make sure I can still carry the speed through. It's always really tricky dealing with traffic. It's quite a skill really to try and do it well. Like for example in Wilton I was awful, but in this race I felt much better about getting through traffic, mainly because it was just dry rather than having wet lines everywhere. You've got also here, you're dealing with people, I see Anwar, they're making quite an aggressive move on the back marker there, sort of force his way through, but no harm done, I don't think anyway. I don't think he blew up. You can see we get a really good run through it, so now I'm sort of thinking of challenging, just let's say on the outside there, what I'm going to do with that, I don't really know. You can see Anwar's a bit wide again, he's defending again though, so Really, there's not many places I can go here. And then here I was close enough to sort of hustle him into this corner. But once again, all I can keep doing is crisscrossing lines and hope that at one point I end up with a nose on the inside. And at the moment, it just isn't happening. And you can see how he's very worried about me and not worried about in front right now. He's weaving all over the place. It's his first game. Once again, we're closing onto the back end, so we're really in a good moment at the moment to try and use our speed to try and get past him. But he's always looking around, so you can't really do anything. I need to catch him off guard, which is not easy. Then coming into here, I'm looking for opportunities with the back markers here. I don't really know what to do, so I sort of help him along there, hoping he'd get himself into an incident, which he sort of does, to be fair. Because I was hoping he'd sort of go for a late lunge. I mean, if that had been me last season, I definitely would have got a penalty for that. But he gets away with that one, which it wasn't that bad, but just it's one of those things. You got to try and play every card you got, I think. And I was hoping one of these back markers would just mess up in some way or have an instant right in front of him, just anything, just to put him off. But just wasn't getting the luck. So I've lost a little bit of time now just through those last back markers here, but we're making our way back up to him now, and I think he makes, if I remember correctly, he makes this move, which really gets him a long way up the road now, because I don't quite get to carry the momentum I'd like through here. Although, actually no, to be fair, that's not true. I seem to get a good run through there, so maybe that was a different, I was thinking something else. But yeah, we're just out the DRS, let's say, like in F1. Not close enough to really do anything. Close enough to pounce on a mistake if it's a big mistake, but not enough if he just has a bit of a wonky line somewhere. So, and now he's looked behind, he can focus on what he's doing. But I'm very happy with this drive, because I've been top 3 now. Well, I've been top 3 in the whole race. Haven't had any incidents at all, and that was the thing that I had a lot of last season. I had a lot of incidents where maybe it was my fault, maybe it wasn't, but just an incident in general, you're risking the chance of getting a penalty. Maybe that was more my problem than whether I actually deserved the penalty or not. I was still in a part where someone could say I was. So lately I've been really trying to make sure I'm very clinical with the driving and trying to make sure I don't get into any point where someone can say, well, actually he did shove him off, or he didn't, you know. So we're coming to final lap now, holding on to third. And it's a fun fact, actually, I haven't actually had a official Club 100 podium or anything. I did do Wilton Mill last season, and I finished third in every single race. However, I also got penalties in every single race, so I didn't get third in any of those races. But this time, I've been third for a bit of fortune through penalties with the guys in front. And then also I've been third in this race as we come across the line for the final lap now, securing that third place, which with the same result in both races, Dan in first and Moir second and me in third, means that I actually get third overall, which will be my first pot in my, what is it now, 3 years of Club 100 racing. Started in, official Club 100, started in 2019. Did the full season sprint 16 lightweights there on the weight limit and did okay for the first season. Second season, lockdown may have ruined my lightweight stature and I ended up racing with quite a bit of extra natural ballast, but still pulled off good results, but never managed to get a top 3 overall. I think I did get a 4th at best in that. And then this has now that I'm in heavyweights on the close enough to the weight limit to be much more competitive. This is going to be my first trophy, and hopefully of many more to come. Because even at Clay this season, I was quite unlucky to get a penalty in the first race, and that would have then been a second and a second maybe, I think, or a third and a second maybe, which would have been second overall or third overall. So the pace is there, which is very very good to know. And with Butmore coming up as my next round, that you'll see, it's looking promising to get some more really good results. So I'm looking forward to hopefully stepping up my game more and more, and hopefully bringing home some more pots. Ideally, anyways. But yeah, there's me with my pot. As you can see, a nice big grin under that mask, obviously. And yeah, I will catch you at the next one, which is Butmore Park, which I actually did 3 events at, so I'm not sure how I'm going to edit it all up, but we will see. And there's a nice celebratory picture there. But yeah, catch you on the next one.